Hello, everybody. It's Tuesday. I was going to try to make something clever, but there's nothing clever that rhymes with Tuesday, and there's no hump day, so I'm going to have to wait till Wednesday to make that announcement. But I'm Ashley Nicole Moss. I got Brandon Marshall with me. He's very... You found your iPad, Brandel?
No.
Brandon?
Sound like me. No, I bought a new one.
Dang.
No, I bought a new one. I
thought the airline
I think
may
I had to
send it
invest
back to
like
you.
$2,100, $2,200. I got the iPad. I got the pen. I got the little
keyboard. Me too, but I have a mini one.
Why'd you go black?
Because once you go black, you never go back. You heard?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man. Way to start this terrific Tuesday.
We also got Corey in the cut who was doing the best he could to bop with his situation.
Right.
But he did a fantastic job with it. You lost your iPad on the plane. I lost my AirPods. I had to buy new AirPods.
Oh, I like this. $3.
This is nice.
Look at this.
We're getting better.
Nice. Why am I not in the middle?
Sorry, I interrupted. Oh, you're supposed to be in the middle.
Price going up.
That doesn't seem right.
Ashley said she needs
You might
to
be right. You might be right.
What's
about
wrong
that.
with you? What's
just
wrong with
saying.
you today?
I'm just
What's
saying.
in this? What's in this Starbucks?
This is
you
actually
talking about?
This is a brown sugar oat milk
coming out hot, right?
espresso. So I'm turned up. Might be a little tequila in here. Don't know.
Man. Oh, tequila. That'd be interesting.
Guess we'll find out. The show's still early. But Corey, listen, you in our production meeting was talking about how it's a dry day. There's not much going on. And then the gift that keeps on giving, which is sports, which is the NBA, said,
Right.
I got you, Corey.
Yeah, right.
No worries. Doc Rivers fired from the 76ers. I'm going to pass it to you. We'll dive into it.
I mean, yeah, that was it. I was really going to break that news there. 76ers, this morning we got the news that Doc Rivers, he's out, right? So, I mean, we were just talking about this yesterday, right, guys? We were talking about Doc Rivers and, what his future looks like. There was 2 years left actually on his contract, but like I said, the 76ers made the decision to part ways. So, I mean, just what are your guys' initial thoughts and reactions on that?
Brandon,
we'll start with you.
Because you were on the Doc Rivers
Listen, it's
express. Disappointed by
whether
it.
you're watching Paper Route on YouTube, listen to us on SiriusXM, Faction Talk Channel 103, or if you're watching ESPN or FS1 or any other network, Gilbert Arenas has a podcast, and he's live pretty much every day. Hell, even if it's it is what it is with Mace and Cam, I can guarantee you guys that 95% of the commentary around Doc Rivers is going to be bad, right? And what I would say is this: I want to give Doc Rivers first. Give Doc Rivers his flowers first. Doc Rivers, he's a phenomenal coach. He really is. I understand, Ashley, in game 6s or game 7s, he's 6-10 or whatever it is. He has the worst record when closing out any type of series, especially in a game 7. And that is the story. But that doesn't take away from Doc Rivers as a legendary coach. It doesn't take away from Doc Rivers being a title winner coach. But we saw this coming, right? And I don't think it stops with Doc Rivers. I think that James Harden is probably next. When you see Embiid in where he's at in his career, you have to find a way to surround him with the people that can get him to the next level. Now, I didn't like what he said. Nobody liked what he said as far as like, there's 5 people on the team. James and I can't do it by ourselves. You're Joel Embiid. To me, you're the most dominant player in the NBA. So shout out to Doc Rivers for having a legendary career. I would like for this to be the end, Ashley. You're done. It's okay. What else are you chasing? You know what I'm saying? Go to the YMCA and give back. Go to the Boys and Girls Club and give back more. Go enjoy your career. Go enjoy your life and your family. Right? The NBA is trying to get younger. You see like JJ Redick getting looks. You see the Celtics where they're at with their coach. I just think Doc is done. I would like to see Sam Cassell get a shot at this gig. I really like Sam Cassell. I think this is exactly what Joel Embiid and this team needs. And look, if they make the right decisions, they won't be far off, Ashley.
Before I make my point, I'm curious. You said that Doc Rivers is a phenomenal coach or a fantastic coach. I think that's the words you use. What makes you come to that conclusion?
Because he's a winner. You know, because listen,
is he?
Yes, he is a winner. He is a winner.
Is he a winner?
He definitely is.
In what way is he a winner?
What you mean? Has he not won?
Well, yeah,
that's hard to do.
He has the worst postseason winning percentage, probably in the NBA, or at least top 5. I mean, it's with the Charlotte Hornets. It's 32%, and this is when we're talking about Doc Rivers is 16-33 in playoff games where his team already has 3 wins, which means that in the postseason, he is incapable of getting it done. While, yes, in the regular season, you look at his tenure with the Philadelphia 76ers, the past 3 seasons that he has been the head coach there, they have finished top 4 in the Eastern Conference. So regular season, I agree with you. You know, he wins. Yeah. But the regular season doesn't get you banners. Regular season doesn't get you trophies.
So let me ask you a question.
Doesn't get you parades. And in the postseason, he is incapable of getting it done. And in his entire career, has only done it once. And some will say that's because he had the big 3 in Boston.
Oh, of course. But let me ask you this question. It's funny because I was getting my hair done last night. You still haven't commented on my hair. You never comment on, you know, when I get my hair done, I get trimmed up, or
that's
if I get them retwisted. You
One
never
thing
do it.
about
You never
me,
do
Brandon,
that. No. You're selfish. You're a little selfish.
I pick and choose when I give men compliments to keep them humble.
Oh my
goodness,
it's
part of
Ashley,
my MO.
You don't have to do that. Just give flowers when flowers are deserved.
I pick and choose.
It's funny because I was getting my hair done last night till like 3 in the morning.
I do think you smell good today.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna let you know what that is. I forget the name of it. I got it at Kith this past weekend, or FS1 weekend. Ashley, I was watching
F1.
I was watching F1. Yeah, there you go. I was watching a documentary on Netflix last night, and I can't recall the name. And it was basically about, like, I think the name may have been Coaches Life Advice. Best Coaches Life Advice. Okay. Serena Williams, tennis coach, Doc Rivers, this soccer coach. There were so many coaches just talking. It opened up with Doc Rivers. Okay. And Doc Rivers immediately talks about that Celtics team. And he said that was his hardest challenge because he had 3 dogs, he had 3 leaders, and he had to get them all to play together. And you had a young Rajon Rondo. That was one of the greatest coaching outings the NBA has ever seen. Taking all 3 of those guys, getting them to be selfless, play together, and take the East. So I agree with you on, you know, look, in postseason he hasn't been able to get it done.
It's called the
But
playbook?
you can also, is it the playbook?
The playbook?
Yeah, that's it. It was really good. I really love Doc's perspective on some things. I'm not taking away from what you said, but I just don't want to pile on, right? Because at the end of the day, it's hard to win a championship. It's hard to win a championship. Yes, you have the big 3, but you know who they had to go through to win that championship, and then you also know how he had to bring everybody together, the Perkins of the world. You had a young Rondo. Think about that. Remember how Rondo was? And having a coach like that, to be able to meet him where he was at and yell at him and scream at him and say, you're not seeing the game the right way. You need to listen. You need to follow us. You need to follow Ray Allen. So I want to give Doc his flowers. I'm not taking away from your point, but you know, it was time. It was time for him. It's time for him to move on. It's time for me personally to hang it up.
I mean, I hear what you're saying about Rondo. When he came into the league, everyone knew that he got better at shooting as he got older. When he first came into the league, it was atrocious. He couldn't hit the side of a bus. But we're still talking about a Boston Celtics team that had Ray Allen, that had Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett in their prime. That's a big 3, and not to mention they had a solid supporting cast. So while I hear what you're saying about having to wrangle in Rondo and Perkins and get those personalities to mesh well together.
So that's all you need is them 3?
I just said, and they had a solid supporting cast.
Okay.
That was a really good basketball team. So I hear what you're saying about a coach having to wrangle in personalities and things like that, but he still had a lot, and I don't know how much coaching was actually required of him for them to win.
But it's not always coaching in X's and O's. Sometimes, like, you know, the game has definitely passed him, and there's coaches running circles around him, right? From an X's and O's
Oh,
standpoint
correction.
and
I'm sorry.
adjustment
KG
standpoint.
technically wasn't in his prime, but he also wasn't on his decline. He was like in the middle of the
You don't
road.
think he was in his prime?
No, Timberwolves. KG was
You don't
probably
think
his prime.
the big ticket was in his prime?
When you think of his prime, I think of Minnesota.
Oh, my
I'm not
goodness.
saying he wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't fantastic. But when I
Yeah.
think of prime KG, I think of Minnesota.
Yeah, really quickly, Ashley, I don't think it's always about X's and O's. I think with that team, they needed someone that can lead the way, humble the Rondos of the world, that can speak to the big tickets of the world. Calm down, brother. You're going too far. Bigs, you're going too far. And also get guys to buy in and sacrifice, right? And so I think if you don't have Doc Rivers, I don't think the Celtics win. But we don't have to spend forever on this. Doc is out. So what's next?
Well, for me, my take on it is this. I think that there is blame. I'm not going to sit here and put all the blame on Doc Rivers. Embiid didn't show up. James Harden didn't show up. And also the front office failed this team because they didn't have depth. They really only had maybe 3 or 4 guys. And that's not enough to win a championship. And that's definitely not enough to beat a Boston Celtics team that, as you can see, can hit you from so many different angles. With that said, this is a team that has underperformed drastically in the postseason, coming off of a top 4 standing in the regular season. That falls on Doc Rivers because there were pieces there for him to make something happen. Now, again, will I say that this particular instance was his fault? No, I don't think that it was his fault. I think that, again, Embiid didn't show up. Harden didn't show up. They actually kind of quit on him. And in a sense, they got punched in the mouth and didn't know how to counterpunch. That's not Doc Rivers. You can't teach that.
Right.
That's the will of an athlete. But however, if you look at his entire tenure as a coach, he's blown multiple 3-1 leads with the Lob City Clippers. The 76ers have underperformed. Some will even say the Boston Celtics underperformed because you had prime KG. And now that I'm thinking about it, KG wasn't I would consider KG on Boston prime KG. You had prime KG. You had Ray Allen, one of the greatest shooters in the NBA. You had why am I drawing a blank on his name right now? Paul Pierce. You had a great supporting cast, and you only got one championship from that.
Baby.
You look at his entire resume.
Perk came in, gave you some.
Right. You look at his entire resume as a coach. While this particular Game 7 situation may not have been his fault, his entire resume as a coach, minus that one championship in Boston, has been subpar.
Right.
And I think that also played a role in the 76ers'
Let me ask you this question.
Let
me ask you this question, right? So now you love talking about, when players show you who they are, believe them, basically, right? Because I'm the guy that loves the stories. I always talk about our digital board and how guys can write their own narrative, right? And rewrite it. You have Chris Paul. Chris Paul in the biggest moments postseason continues to go down with some type of soft tissue injury.
I mean, that's not his fault.
So let's go back to the Clippers. So I say that because sometimes we just pile on too much. Doc Rivers in L.A., do you remember Chris Paul going down? If Chris Paul don't go down, they may win two championships. Do they not? You don't remember those moments? Or was it did he hurt his hand? Was it his thumb? I think he may have broke his thumb. Maybe it wasn't his hamstring or maybe a quad, but he got hurt. And if he didn't get hurt, they win. So do we gotta blame everything on Doc Rivers? Huh? That don't make sense to me.
It's not about blaming everything on Doc Rivers, but you have to look. The percentages don't lie. He's 16-33 when his teams have 3 games under their belt in a playoff series. That means that every single time most of the time when you've needed only 1 game to win, you have failed. Almost every single time. That's 32. That's a 32% win percentage. That's atrocious in the postseason. And you have to look at the coach in that situation. I'm not saying it's 100% on him, but he is not the coach that takes you to the promised land. And I know that everybody will go back. He should be done. that he is not. I don't know how many times we talk about this with players all the time, that if somebody shows you, when a player shows you who they are, you got to believe them. You can't just flip a switch and all of a sudden become someone different. Doc Rivers has shown us that he is a regular season winning coach. He is not the coach that's going to go ahead and bring a banner to your arena. He is not the coach that's going to bring a championship, a parade to your city. He's just not that guy. It's just not. He's not that guy.
2015, Chris Paul fought through a hamstring injury. 2016, Paul fractured his right hand. That's when they definitely was going to win that year. Come on. Without Paul and Blake Griffin in the starting lineup.
Sheesh.
Like, come on.
Yeah, that's just bad luck.
Yeah, I mean, but listen, this is the
Sports.
business, right?
Sports,
nobody care about all of that. Ain't nobody gonna sit here and do all that research. Ain't nobody gonna sit here and do all the research and say, well, this series or this year, the blame goes to these players or this coach. Nobody's gonna do that. Yeah. So unfortunately, when you're the head coach and you're the face of the franchise, you're going to take all the blame.
It's not 100% his fault. And I think that anybody who's watched these series unfold and the teams that he's been part of would be able to make that assessment. There's a lot of things, like you said, that goes into winning a championship. Phil Jackson said it best. It's 50% health and 50% luck. It's not easy to win a chip. A lot of things have to go right. Yeah. But you also can't ignore the fact that in some way, shape, or form, he has failed.
Right. Yeah.
Whether it's because it was unfortunate injuries, or whether it's because bad rotations, whether it's because bad substitutions or lack thereof, or adjustments, he has failed. And your track record is your track record. And his track record is exceptional regular season coach, but not the guy who's going to bring a championship to your city. And that is what it is.
Yeah.
Got you.
All right. Well, hey, how about we move on to some teams that still do have a chance to get a championship, right? So tonight, the highly anticipated Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals between the Lakers and the Nuggets. The Lakers just sent home the Warriors in 6 games, and the Nuggets did the same to the Suns in 6 games, and they square off tonight. How about this for a stat, y'all? The Lakers are 7-0 all-time in playoff series versus the Nuggets, right? So we'll see if history repeats itself and James can actually get ring number 5, or at least give himself an opportunity to get ring number 5. But I'm going to ask you guys first. Ashley, I'll start with you. Which team right now, if we go like man for man, has the advantage going into Game 1?
I'm going to go Denver. I think also that altitude is their 6th man. Athletes will tell you all the time, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, that altitude is no joke.
She went deep. She just went deep for the take. She went to the altitude.
The altitude is no joke. It changes the dynamic. It's
right.
It's literally the 6th man. So, at least in basketball terminology, it's the 6th man. In football, it's the 12th man. Like, it's very real. And we've seen teams.
Where'd you pull that one from?
I mean, the Denver altitude, everyone knows that. Like, it's almost cheap.
Because that's the only thing you get. That's the only edge the Nuggets have.
I don't know if and I also don't know if the Lakers have an answer for Jokic. I mean, I think that they'll have an easier time with other players on the Nuggets, but Jokic is he's a different animal. He's a different beast. I think the combination of those two things will be hard for the Lakers to attack in Game 1, at least. I think they'll figure it out at some point in the series, maybe Game 3, even maybe Game 2. But I think straight off the bat, I'm going to go with the home team.
Which team has the advantage heading into the Western Conference Finals? It's the Lakers.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even think it's close. Number one, right? It's like there was never a Tom Brady team that wasn't in it. If you have Tom Brady, you're always in it. Tiger Woods, he always has a chance, right? Serena Williams always has a chance. There's some athletes that always gives you the advantage. Michael Jordan, and the list goes on and on and on. Heavyweight, Muhammad Ali, right? Floyd Mayweather. Well, Floyd Mayweather never lost. That's LeBron James. LeBron James is going to go down as a top 5 athlete, a top 5 competitor. When you have LeBron on the court, he can kill you in so many different ways, right? He can give you 40, or he can give you 20 rebounds. He can give you 10 assists. He can get other guys going. He can coach on the sideline. He does everything. His IQ is through the roof. So there's 3 reasons why the Lakers have the edge. Number 1 is LeBron James. We're talking about over 530 postseason games, averaging 28 points, averaging 9 rebounds, averaging 7 assists. Like, we're talking about LeBron James here. LeBron's going to find a way. Did you not see him, Ashley, doing the shadow boxing before the game? Mm-hmm. Right? Like, come on, this boy. Did you look in his eyes? We keep talking about this.
I didn't look in his eyes, but I saw the shadow boxing.
What you think?
Yeah, were you impressed with that shadow boxing? Be real though.
Hell no.
Because I saw it like, LeBron, come on, dude. You got It like he was thinking about shadow boxing.
Ain't nobody scared of LeBron.
He ain't look. It's not like it was Rocky Balboa out there.
Ain't nobody scared of LeBron. The second thing is defense. The Lakers, you can say, is the top 2, top 3 defensive team second half of the NBA of the season.
Definitely through the
right?
playoffs. Yeah.
And the big part is due to Anthony Davis stepping it up on the other side. We had Steven Jackson on the show yesterday, and he talked about AD getting it done on both ends of the court, and that's something that is different, right? That's an anomaly. Right, that's a unicorn in today's NBA. You're either getting a few guys playing defense, or you're getting guys that only want to play offense. Anthony Davis, is probably one of the most elite defenders in the NBA when he's healthy, and he's been healthy this postseason. And the last thing is going to be a shocker. It's going to be a shocker for you, Ashley and Corey. Mm-hmm. It's depth. They got the depth.
So
depth.
The Nuggets don't have depth?
Not this depth. The Lakers were scrambling at the trade deadline. The Lakers were fighting to make the play-in game. Mm-hmm. And then in the postseason, you can look at them and say they're one of the most complete teams. Lonnie Walker, where did he come from? Yeah. D'Angelo Russell, he can give you 25, right? You got Austin Reeves still having a great year, and Dennis Schroeder not turning into what's the kid's name they traded? That's a little pest from Chicago.
Pat
Bev. Mm-hmm. So those are the 3 reasons why the Lakers have the edge. Number 1, LeBron James. Can never count LeBron James out. It's like Tom Brady. Tom Brady, we seen him down 28-3, right? Number 2, defense. Defensively, they can keep up with the Nuggets. The Nuggets do have depth, Ashley. That was a big discussion for 2.5 weeks. I'm just saying they have depth.
But does it matter?
Every series is different.
Right, okay.
Every series is different. In this series, depth matter. The last series, it didn't matter because of what you implied when we were talking about Doc Rivers and the Celtics. Oh, you have KD. You have Paul Pierce. And you have Kevin Garnett, or not Kevin Garnett, but Ray Allen.
KD wasn't on the Celtics.
KG.
Okay.
Help me out there.
Right?
But
last time I checked, the Suns are home, right?
It doesn't matter.
I'm
talking about that series. That series, it didn't matter because
CP3
went down. If CP3 keep going down, is he done? What you think? What you think? Just answer that question real quick before
I think he comes back next season. Should he?
Where?
That's a different conversation.
Where?
I don't know, honestly.
You think the Suns will have him back?
I don't think they should, but...
Oh, what if he go back to Houston with James Harden?
James Harden's going back to Houston?
I don't know.
That's a possibility. Yeah.
I will say, though, for me, one of the interesting things about this particular series is the drastic difference between the 2 teams when it comes to pace. The Lakers were top 3 this season in pace. So they were one of the fastest playing teams. Mm-hmm. Whereas the Denver Nuggets were, if my math is correct, this was 25th. So they were one of the slowest teams. So you have 2 teams on different ends of the spectrum. It's going to be interesting how both coaches make the other go ahead and play to their pace. I think that if the Nuggets can slow down the Lakers, they're going to hate that. They're a team that likes to play fast. It's one of their edges. If the Nuggets are forced to go ahead and play at the speed of the Lakers, I feel like they're going to struggle. Jokic is not that guy. He doesn't really like to play at that pace. So that's going to be interesting. I will say, though, I know people are laughing about the altitude. That was a real thing. Like, Brandon can speak to that as someone who played in Denver. We'll get to that in a second. I did not make that up. That's a very real thing.
That's a real thing.
I do think, though, that speed is in the favor of the Lakers, and I think if the Lakers can force the Nuggets to play at their pace, and not be tricked into playing at the Nuggets pace,
Right.
I think they can win this series.
Yeah, because what's the game plan for stopping Jokic when they do get that half-court offense set up, right? And they're not pushing the pace.
Right.
And they're forced to, again, guard him in the half-court. What's their game plan for that?
Right.
Well, you heard Coach, right?
Right.
So Coach talked about this yesterday, and he said, guard him when he gets out of bed and then try to kidnap him. You don't stop some players, right? Like, this is a guy that you can't stop. I think, the game plan should be not.
You can stop him though if you force him to play at your pace. He doesn't want to play. That's not his bag.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, it's going to take him. He's going to have to play 38 minutes a night, and he's going to have to be lights out, which he was last series. I think there was only one game where he didn't drop 30 points. And close to 10 assists. Maybe did he average a triple double in the last series? He was phenomenal, right? And he's gonna have to play 38 minutes and be phenomenal. He's gonna have to be the Joker that he's been the last 3 seasons. But you can't let the others get going. To me, that's the game plan, and tire him out. Like, if this dude has to go out there and keep up with the Lakers, and you just talked about pace and how they're playing, I think that's the best chance of winning. But it's going to take a very strategic effort to slow down Joker.
Yeah. Do you think AD can do it? Like, because this is probably Jokic's. AD's first elite center matchup in the playoffs this year.
I don't think anybody can slow down Joker.
I'm not worried about LeBron. LeBron's going to do what LeBron James does. I think AD's going to struggle with Jokic.
Yeah, and what about AD offensively? Like, you think Jokic will give him a problem on that end of the floor too?
I mean.
Listen, they can't. I wouldn't even say.
I'm not gonna say 100%. I do think defensively there's holes in Jokic's game, as you can see when you watch him play. Mm-hmm. So I do think if AD can capitalize on that, I still think offensively he'll be impactful. But I do think he's gonna have a hard time guarding Jokic, and that's gonna be one of the biggest. I think issues for this Lakers team is how to combat that, because I don't think he's gonna have. I don't think he's going to have an easy task to do it. Yeah. I know it's not going to be an easy task, and I don't know if he's going to be able to rise to the task in the way that they need him to in order to go ahead and be
because he's
impactful.
The problem is that Joker is such a playmaker, right? You run 2 people at him, he's going to find exactly where that second man's person came from. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's gonna make the play. He's gonna either make the play himself or find somebody.
It's a very mismatch because AD is not going to have. I personally don't believe AD is going to have a problem scoring on Jokic because defensively Jokic is not the greatest. But I do think
Aiden ain't do nothing last series. But I mean, we're comparing Aiden.
Yeah,
to
it's a different comparison.
Aiden didn't do anything.
It's
on
a different.
the offensive side.
It's a different comparison. I don't think AD's going to have a. I don't think AD's problem is going to be offensively with Jokic. I think his problem is going to be stopping Jokic from being able to score because defensively, that's where he's going to have his biggest problem with him.
Well, that leads me into my next question, right? So I mean, we're talking about the battle between Jokic and AD and whatnot. Now, does that mean AD is gonna, have to embrace that challenge and take this series over, or is this gonna be a series that LeBron's gonna have to take over, considering what he's dealing with?
I think it's LeBron. LeBron's gonna have to go into 0 dark 30 mode.
He's already in there.
Like I said, I think that AD has the tougher task, and that's Jokic.
Right.
It's just, unfortunately, that's his guy this series, and that's going to be a problem for him. So I think that takes him out of this series a little bit in terms of, like I said, the defense. No. I think LeBron is the one who's going to have to go ahead and carry a lot of this load. I mean, obviously the supporting cast, but I think if we're going to talk about who has the better series, it's definitely LeBron James.
Well, I mean, I think it shows up differently. I mean, AD can dominate on the boards. He can dominate on the defensive side. He doesn't have to average 30, 35 points to be dominant in this series. And, you just slowing down.
He has to also be dominant defensively, and I think that's where his problem is going to be.
You think he's going to struggle
against guarding Jokic?
Yeah. I mean, the question is AD or LeBron. I'm still going with AD. AD got to.
You think he has the better series over LeBron?
I think AD has the better series. Yes, I think he's going to have some phenomenal moments on the defensive side. I don't think he's going to be lights out on the offensive side because he has a lot of work to do on with Joker, but AD got to be the guy. I think that's the only way. We don't really want to talk about it. We haven't talked about it. LeBron he slowed down a lot.
I mean, he's 40 years old.
Exactly. So when you say it's going to go through LeBron. How? How does that look? You think LeBron
No, I
can
said
go out there
he's
and
asking me who has the better series, and I'm going towards someone who has the easier task, and LeBron doesn't have to guard Jokic.
So what do you think? What do you think this series look like for LeBron?
What do you mean? What does it look like? What's his stat line?
Yeah.
I feel like LeBron can average 30 in this series.
See, I would love that. That's what I hope happens. That'd be fun to watch.
I feel like he can. I don't think we're going to see ridiculous like 50-point, 45-point games from him, but I think he'll average about 30. I think maybe you'll get one holy crap game from him where he turned back the hands of time and he looks like Cavs or Big Three LeBron in the Miami era. But I think 30 is probably like my safe number for this series.
Is this the finals? Is
What, the finals?
Is this the finals? Is this going to be the most exciting matchup, the most exciting series, right? Like this matchup, we're talking about AD versus
Boston
Joker.
and Miami is going to be a pretty good series too, though, because I mean, I watched them last year. I was at the AAA for Game 7.
A lot of history.
Those two teams go at it. Like they go at it. There's history there, but they also like they match up well to each other, where it's a very back and forth series. I think both these matchups are going to be really fun to watch, and I think we're going to get really good. We're going to get really good basketball on both sides. I'm excited that these are kind of the Final Four. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah. All right, guys, moving on. So we were talking about LeBron. Do you guys remember like a few months ago when LeBron had tweeted he was watching games on the League Pass and he felt that Bronny was, a lot better than some of the guys that he was seeing? Yeah. So yesterday, on the latest episode of Podcast P, Paul George's podcast,
P.
yeah, him and DeMar DeRozan kind of gave their reaction to LeBron's tweet and also had something else to say. Let's take a look at it real quick.
How did you feel about the tweet that LeBron sent out? Bronny was better than some current NBA guys.
We do guys a lot of sorry in the league. I'm gonna be honest.
No cap.
I'm the type of dude, I keep my opinions myself. I chill. I play the backseat. But being in the league so long, you realize how many don't love the game of basketball, who take it for granted, who feel so entitled, who just want everything that come with it, but don't want to put the work in. Mm-hmm. It's so frustrating. You know what I mean? Like, we played in an era where you had to, like, earn everything. So you got so many guys coming in thinking, like, they just should be playing because they homeboy told them they nice. Mm-hmm. And it's like, bro, you're not good. So I definitely got Bron's standpoint of that because you'll be surprised.
It's a good, 450 of us? It's a good 75 to 100.
Stinks.
Good dudes, though.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of people.
75 to 100?
It's like 40%
Who are you talking about, DeMar? Say some names.
Right.
Get messy, as Brandon Marshall would say. Get messy. Who you talking about?
Right.
I feel like I know who he's throwing shots at, but I just want to know like who you're referring to, DeMar. Like what do we? I mean, he's throwing some shots. He's throwing some shots.
For real.
Talking about players who want the glitz and the glamour of being an NBA player, but don't want to do the work. He's throwing some shots.
Right. I mean, on the football side of things, like we used to always say that, I obviously never played basketball at that level, but you walk in the NFL locker room, you be like, yo, that guy made the team? How? You know what I mean? You talk about dudes tripping over their feet. You talk about wide receivers that some can't catch the ball. You're a wide receiver, and you're in the league, and you can't catch. How you make it? You understand? DBs have no type of technique. Dudes big but can't move. So you see that a lot. It was a shocker to me when I got to the NFL, right? I felt like college was harder than the NFL. I don't know, because of that transition was tougher from high school to college, because like now you go from like a teenager and you walk into a locker room and you go into a team that is filled with men. Like these dudes been lifting weights. They've been eating down pork and steak for 2-3 years. Talking about muscles on top of muscles, and then you get to so that's a big transition. Like you got to really put on your big boy pants when you go from high school to college to the NFL. You come in bigger, right? A lot of these dudes, when you get to the NFL, you're not as big as you were in college. You don't lift as much. It's more about being running and staying healthy and doing all the secondary workouts as far as like making sure everything's activated and firing. But when I got to the NFL, I stepped in the locker room. I stepped in that huddle. I was like, yo, this is sweet. This is easy. It was so easy to me. Everything was easy. Practice was easy to me. Competing in one-on-one, 7-on-7 was easy to me. The only time it was hard is when I went against the Champ Baileys of the world, the Darrell Reeves of the world, right? Antonio Cromartie gave me some good work. Quentin Jammer gave me some good work. But 9 times out of 10, right, it felt pretty easy in the NFL. I will say that.
But exactly what DeMar and PG are talking about is why I hate when people say, there are no trash players in the NBA. If you make it to the NBA, you're a great player. That's not true. There are people in the NBA who suck. There are people in the NBA who are there because they're either 7 feet tall and they can lift their arms up and block a shot, but they absolutely have no game. Can we stop this narrative that just because you're in the NBA, that makes you a good player? There are crappy players in the NBA, and I'm glad that 2 NBA players. It's not relative. He just said 75 to 100 stink. That's probably factual.
Well, that's just at their level. Those are two.
People say, oh, the NBA, there's no bad players in the NBA. Yes, there are. There are players who are trash. They suck. There are players who can go to Rucker Park right now and get their ass handed to them. Stop making it seem like just because you're in the NBA, you're a great player. You're a good player. You're an all-star player. You're a 1% player. It's not always true. Stop it. That narrative's not true. Cut it out.
Yo, the chat is going wild right now with some of these names. Ashley, are you seeing some of these names they're throwing out there that's trash?
Oh, Lord.
We don't even, we don't even need a fact checker. We got the chat for this.
I know, they
all the names you see, all the names they're throwing in there?
I know. I know. You want to say one of the names that I'm
Kwame
seeing?
Brown.
Well, Kwame Brown's like not in the league anymore. So.
I know, but I'm saying like
Rudy
he was in the
Gobert.
league. You
Oh,
think?
Lord.
I don't think he was trash. I mean, I think he was trash.
His hands were too small. He can't grab the basketball.
He was trash in the NBA, but if he go to Rutgers, go on any other court, he'll be an elite player. He'll stand out. Scouts will come there 10 out of 10 times and say, sign him up. I want him, right? I don't know what happened when he got to the NBA, but, you know, he's one. You see anybody else in there?
There are players in the NBA who are just there because they're tall for no reason. Have no type of post move, cannot hit the side of a bus. They're defensively challenged. Their feet are too small. Their hands are too small. They don't have basketball IQ, but they do have is height. Let's stop making it seem like everyone in the NBA is an Olympic athlete. There are tiers for a reason. There's superstars, there's megastars, there's great, there's good, there's average, and there's trash. It exists. Let's stop going ahead and beating around the bush. It exists, and I want everyone to stop this narrative that there's no trash players in the NBA.
Mo Bamba, is that Mo Bamba?
No, I wouldn't say he's trash.
Yeah,
Tobias Harris?
Nah, he's not trash either.
Tobias Harris?
No, he's not trash. They disrespect him.
Rudy Gobert?
Now look, I don't know.
What?
Yeah, Rudy.
I wouldn't say trash, but it's a little questionable.
Didn't he
He's
get
not
paid?
meeting expectations. He's not meeting his potential. We'll say that. Now listen, I don't know if DeMar DeRozan
You
and
wouldn't
Paul
say
George.
Tobias. I mean,
Porzingis?
You would say Tobias Harris is trash?
I'm taking him on my team. Tobias Harris? I'm taking Tobias Harris on my team. Yeah, now listen, I don't know if DeMar DeRozan and Paul George were referring to like rotational guys or guys towards the end of the bench when they were referring to that, 75 to 100. But Dwight Howard recruited a handful of NBA players, and it's fun. These guys weren't, I would say, guys at the end of the bench. But let's look at this video that Dwight Howard posted to Twitter.
Jordan Poole, come on. Julius Randle, come on. Ben Simmons, come on, man. Shoot, ain't nobody beating us, boy. Clay, you can slide down here too, my boy.
My boy.
DeAndre Ayton, you and CP3, come on. Shoot. KD, come on, KD. Hey, they talking about him going back to Houston, but I think this might be a better look. James Harden, come on down here too, boy.
So, yeah, like I said, he recruited
Where
some
is he
big names.
recording
He's
that?
wild.
Why is there an echo?
Taiwan. You ain't
Yeah,
see the
he
curtains
in
in the
Taiwan.
back. Ain't nobody coming over there. Look at the bus he's on.
No, but he sounds like he's speaking through. Y'all remember that? Well, Corey doesn't remember.
I know what
anything
you're talking about.
past
I already
the
know what
year
you're talking about.
2000.
The
It
echo
was-
microphones.
That was that
Yeah,
makeup. It
see
was
that,
like
see
it
that,
was
she tried-
purple, and you would speak
She
into
tried
it,
to send
and
me
it
right
would give
there.
you
Why
like
she
that
tried to send
echo
me like
effect. What is he using to record that video? It
No,
sounds
yo.
like the voice of God.
Hey, yo, that was an awesome video. That was hilarious. But isn't this the same guy that cried when Shaq used to pick on him? Misery loves company. Ain't nobody going over there to Taiwan? That's
Yeah.
where he's at?
Yeah, Taiwan.
Ain't nobody going over there, but the video was funny. He tried KD. What do you mean,
He
KD?
tried a few people. What do you
Yeah.
mean?
I know,
Oh,
yeah.
he wasn't far
James
off with a
Harden.
lot of dudes. Who he
He
tried?
said John Morant.
Yeah, John Morant got to go over there.
John Morant got to go to Taiwan.
I don't know.
Yeah, John Morant. Hey, John Morant need to go learn his lesson. He need to go over there and realize what he got over here. He taking things for granted over here. Who else did he
But
say?
you know, I don't say
Who else did he say?
He said John Morant.
Okay.
He said KD.
Yeah.
He
James
said
Harden. James Harden was the
Harden.
last one.
Gotta
He
go
said
to
Klay
Taiwan.
Thompson. He said
ain't
Klay
far
Thompson.
off. Clay.
Klay
ain't-
Thompson.
Yeah, he
Clay.
wilded out for the Klay Thompson.
Clay.
Jordan
That-
Poole. I think.
He said
He said your boy
63.
Julius Randle too. He said
Julius
Julius
Randle.
Randle.
Like, come on now. Be serious.
I can see Julius going.
To Taiwan.
Yeah.
But
I'm
you,
just playing. I'm
y'all know a lot of players
I'm
are
just
going to
messing
Puerto
with
Rico though. Y'all have y'all
Puerto
seen
Rico's
that
a nice
lately?
little squad.
Yeah, like DeMarcus Cousins, he's obviously been in the storylines lately because he's been dominating over there. You remember Norris Cole? Do you remember that name?
Yo, can
Yes.
we?
Terrence Jones.
Norris Cole, he's played for
Hassan
Miami Heat.
Whiteside is
So
yeah.
did
A
Hassan
couple.
Whiteside.
Honestly, a couple Heat players.
He was
Hassan
the one.
Whiteside.
He was the one who Bam sat behind on the bench.
Did he say Ben
Hassan
Simmons?
Whiteside was
yeah,
the
right,
starting. center,
right. Yeah, early on.
Did he say Ben Simmons?
He did.
He did say Ben Simmons.
What happens with Ben Simmons?
What do you mean? What happens to him?
What's next? What's going? What do you think?
I mean, reports say that he's
Shanghai
not going to
Tigers.
require surgery, so I guess that's a silver lining. Surgery is never something that you want to have if you don't need it, and the recovery time for surgery is a lot longer than, I guess, normal rehab. The GM, I believe it was the GM who said it. If I'm wrong on that, I apologize. Said that he should be ready to go by training camp, which is in September. So we'll wait and see.
Ashley, all right, let me ask you this question. Let me ask it this way. Does he get his career back on track?
I think so. I think there's more pressure on him than ever before, just because of last season and how that went.
Yep.
Between playing and then not playing and then being out for the remainder of the season, and everyone, KD leaving and Kyrie leaving and Steve Nash being fired. I think that there was a lot of moving pieces, and now he's the remaining member of that big three. Remember when they said it's going to be scary? It was scary hours, and then James Harden situation, and all of that. I think that he's under a bigger lens of a microscope than he was maybe last season, being covered by KD and Kyrie.
So what happened to everything you've been telling me for the past week and a half about Brandon, the storylines, and why do you think a player can change his stripes and all of that? So you think Ben Simmons is going to just turn it around just like that?
I don't think Ben Simmons doesn't care. I think Ben Simmons has been a product of unfortunate circumstances the report came out a few months ago. He genuinely has an injury in his back that went misdiagnosed by the Brooklyn Nets medical team. So hearing that, it's not like he was sitting on the bench because he couldn't play. he didn't want to play. That'd be different.
Right.
It came out that he was genuinely hurt and that they handled it incorrectly. So I can't really. It's hard for me to use that as he's never gonna. It's a genuine injury.
Right.
You have to see him at 100% to make that assessment, and I feel like we won't be able to do that until the start of next season. Now, in the start of next season, he comes back 100% healthy, cleared by the medical staff, all of that stuff, and he's still playing the way that we have seen him play in a small percentage of this past season, not wanting to shoot, not being aggressive, things like that.
Yeah.
Then you can make that assessment.
What is it called? The baseball players when they get the yips? Yo, he clearly has the yips. You can't have the yips for 3 years, I don't think, can you?
It's a long time.
Has he had the yips for 3 years, or has he been hurt?
I think he's had the yips. You got to shoot the ball. He had it in Philly. The first, then he sat out a year. Then the first year in New York. in Brooklyn, and then the second year in Brooklyn. But he still wasn't shooting the ball. Ben, And you know, you hear NBA players talking about this all the time, but Ben in the off season, his workouts ridiculous.
Yeah.
Shooting the ball.
Yeah, he looks like an
what he
all-star
does.
every offseason.
Oh my goodness.
I'd be excited
everyone
every
looks like
year.
him also whenever he's guarding them in an open gym.
No, it'd be in like the 5-and-5. You know, like
Oh, you're talking about like
yeah,
runs.
like on the pickup.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought you
and
were
he's-
just talking about workouts.
Yeah. So hopefully Ben gets his career back on track. I'm excited to see my Nets
Oh, now you're a
bounce
Nets fan
back.
again?
Yeah, I'm a Nets fan.
Got it.
I'm a Nets fan today.
So when the Cavs start balling out, and
I'm not a
Spider-Man
Cavs
starts doing his
fan.
thing, you're not gonna jump ship over there, right?
I'm not a Cavs fan. Donovan Mitchell, can you please stop this madness? Who told you I was a Cavs
You
fan?
did.
Never said it.
Corey.
Yeah,
Corey,
Corey?
it really
in this debate.
No,
Corey.
no, that really is what I got from like the words that you had said that day. Like I really thought you said I follow my players because Donovan Mitchell's on the Cavs. I'm a Cavs
Let's go to
fan.
the chat, shall
Exactly.
we? Chat, if you remember Brandon Marshall saying that he gave up on his Brooklyn Nets and he is now a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, go ahead and say that you go ahead and give me a thumbs up
Something,
or
right? Just
whatever,
some sort of
just some
indicator.
indication that you remember. Because he
me see what
said
this chat talking
verbatim
about.
that he gave up on the Nets and he is now following
That
his
was
favorite
banter.
player, Spider Mitchell, to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he's
Nobody
now a
said
Cavs
anything.
fan.
Nobody said anything. Nobody heard anything.
It hasn't registered yet.
No one's heard
waiting.
anything.
Real quick before we move on though, to kind of go back to
Christy
the conversation.
says, I remember. Action Jack said he did. There
Uh-oh.
you go. Right now, you're 0 for 2.
I don't
Oh.
remember.
Thumbs up.
I don't remember that.
Yes, he did. Check mark.
Marlon, I appreciate you. King, I appreciate you. Brandon Lamb, I appreciate you. Negative
Correct.
Ashley, go St.
100
Patrick. Go St. Patrick.
factoids.
Hey, I appreciate you, but Ghost, you was just bashing me in the chat.
He was just bashing me in the chat.
Yeah,
He-
but
he
like,
got-
what
he
are you
got-
doing? What's his
he
name?
got-
Go St.
He
Patrick.
got
What are you
some.
doing?
He got some smoke that he got to go work out between him and his
Can we get
therapist.
Ghost on the show? What's your problem? What did he say about you? He said, "Oh, Brandon don't be watching sports," and then now he got my back.
That's crazy.
I gotta know where we stand. Go St. Patrick.
Jeez.
What did he say about you?
I don't know. He's in here every day saying something or another about
I'm
me.
with
I can't keep track.
Nah, but real quick, just to go back to the overseas conversation, like, do y'all think this is like a career path that most guys who are on their way out, right, or coming, like, you know, they're coming off of their primes? Is that a career path they should take up, you know, more often, going overseas, expanding their brand?
I like the China play. You know, to me, that's a big play. It's a huge market. They love American athletes over there. Definitely the basketball player. There's so many guys that's gone over there and done some amazing things, extended their career and made millions of dollars, right? There's guys that go over there now or don't even go over there and still making a lot of money off the court. So I like that move. I don't like this Taiwan move. Like, what are you doing, Dwight Howard, right? Like, Puerto Rico's cool. Puerto Rico's not bad.
Are we
but
just looking
like,
at the destination or are we looking at the team?
And the competition.
I'm looking at the destination one, and I'm also looking at like, why are we holding on? Like Dwight Howard, didn't he play almost? How many years did he play? Woo. Let's go to Woo.
I think that's the idea. Like, for the guys who are holding on to it, still want to play at a high level, it's like, don't take up space in the NBA. Keep the NBA younger. Go overseas. Expand your brand.
It's okay.
And keep playing.
It's okay to move on. It's okay to retire.
I feel like
how many
basketball
years did he
different,
play?
He played 18 years and for 8 different teams.
18 years.
I know that's.
What? I
and
mean,
that's just
is
NBA.
that not enough?
That's just NBA, 18 years. So
Just
he's been
NBA.
playing 20 plus professionally then, because he's done already a couple overseas.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem strategic to me. It seems like a guy that's holding on. I think Dwight Howard is a Hall of Famer, right? Mm-hmm. Retire. Go do something else.
What would you like him to do?
What do you mean? There's
I
a
mean,
lot of things guys can do. How old is Dwight? Dwight's probably still, what is he, 36, 37, 38? Because he came in out of high school, right?
Oh, he did, right. Yeah.
I will say though,
37.
He's 37 years old. He's young.
I will say though, it may be difficult for. I hear what
It is
I
difficult.
hear what you're saying about maybe guys who are still quote unquote holding on, but I think for Dwight, for DeMarcus Cousins, for a handful of players that I believe still can play in the NBA. It's hard to just sit at home knowing you're not done yet, and there are guys who are not as good as you playing in the NBA, and you're not signed to a team. So instead of allowing that to consume you, you go ahead and you take your talent that you still have and you play elsewhere. Because I still believe Dwight Howard could be on an NBA roster. I believe DeMarcus Cousins can be on an NBA
does.
roster.
I like DeMarcus.
And
Yeah,
they're
he
both
does, yeah.
not and they're playing overseas. So I think it's circumstantial. I agree that some guys have a harder time letting it go, but I don't think Dwight and DeMarcus fall into that category. I think these guys can still play, and they're just not on roster. Same thing about Carmelo. I mean, he's not playing. He's, with his son and doing stuff in the AAU space, but he also is somebody who can still be on a roster. And it's unfortunate that some of these guys are still prime and ready to play, not in their prime and ready to play, and they're just not given those opportunities.
Right, because they rather go with the younger guy that has, more upside, right? Dwight Howard, maybe have a year or two left. And then you have a young guy in year 1, year 2, year 3. They can develop and potentially turn into something. So
we'll see. All right, tonight, 2023 NBA Draft Lottery at 8 p.m.
Let's go, Cavs!
Yeah. So, and this year's draft is basically the lottery for Victor Wemby. I'm not going to try and pronounce his Wemby. Do you know how to pronounce his last name? Wembyana.
That's how you say it?
Yeah, I didn't want to disrespect him. Victor Wembyana, but he's basically the number 1 pick in this year's draft. But who will get the number 1 pick tonight? And who needs the number 1 pick tonight?
Let me go ahead and pull up these percentages.
You got teams eligible for the lottery: the Pistons, Rockets, Spurs, Hornets, Trailblazers.
Who cares?
I think the Pistons.
Who cares?
The Pistons don't. I wouldn't say the Pistons need it. I feel like they have a nice little core. I'm leaning more towards the Rockets. Jalen Green.
They got a good young team in Houston.
Needs it? I feel like Charlotte needs it.
I was literally just looking at them.
They need someone to pair with LaMelo,
but I was literally just looking at them. That actually might be a good squad.
They
need a big man too, because they just got rid of.
They need somebody to go ahead.
They just got rid of Plumlee. Plumlee's on the Clippers.
I don't get this whole lottery thing. Like, can somebody break this down for me? Like, what happens? You put balls in this little. What is it? Like,
it's literally like
break
that.
it down for me.
It's kind of like the lotto, literally. Basically,
how does that make
the
sense?
lottery dictates the draft order for, I believe, the first 10 picks.
The
first 10.
That makes no sense.
Or is it the bottom half? Is it like the bottom 14?
14.
Or is it about it?
No,
it might be 10.
It's the top 10 because it dictates who gets the first pick in the draft.
Right.
I'm sorry. It dictates who gets
the order. It's
the order.
Like
I believe the first 10 in the draft. Unless they expanded it.
No, it is 10. It is 10. I remember.
It's only the first 4?
I thought I remember being 10.
ESPN said that a day ago. It's the first 4 spots in the draft.
It's not 10 anymore.
So it's the bottom.
Research.
So it's the
Or is it
bottom
14?
14. The worst 4 teams are the ones that get. It's
the
random.
worst 4.
It's random for the worst 4
Yeah,
teams.
bottom 14
Okay.
are the ones who are eligible to be in the lottery, and the lottery dictates. No, the lottery definitely dictates the top 10.
I know. I thought it was 10.
Come on, fact checker.
I'm 100% sure it's the top.
What's
10.
going on with our fact
The top
checker?
4 would not make sense. It's the bottom 14 teams are in the lottery, and it dictates the top 10 draft in the NBA draft. I'm pretty sure that's accurate. Someone can fact check me on that.
So basically, whoever gets the number 1 pick, number 1 overall pick gets Wembley.
Yep.
I'm gonna call him Wembley.
Wemby.
He said
Yeah.
Wembley.
What's his upside? You buying the hype?
I mean, he is. Have you seen him play?
Yeah. You buying the
If
hype?
he can put on some weight.
He's like 7'3" and can shoot 3-pointers.
It's insane. I personally have never seen somebody that big have that kind of a game before. Like, it's really impressive. I mean, I believe that he would have to go ahead and put on some weight.
What's the comparison? Like, if you had to
NBA.
if you had to put together 2 or 3 players to make Wemby, who would those 2 to 3 be?
I would say Kevin Durant. I would say it's hard, man. I've never seen anybody like him before.
Joker?
Like, no,
he
not
reminds
Joker.
me of like Kareem, honestly.
Yeah, it's like a mixture.
He's
like
so
old
great,
school,
and you don't want to
new
compare
school.
it to
Like,
him,
he has a
but-
shot. I would say he has like a sniper of like KD though. I think he has the sniper like the sniper shot of KD.
I don't think he'll use his shot as often as KD does at the next level, but
he has
he has it.
I feel like he has the Euro aspects of his game, like prime Porzingis.
How about this?
But I'm trying to think.
He's a Giannis with a little bit better of a shot and a bag, like and a bag with moves.
He's a Giannis.
Yes.
He's not that aggressive. Giannis is
he's
aggressive.
Giannis wasn't that when he first got into the league.
I don't know if I would compare him to Giannis.
He had to grow into his frame. But I think that's how his game is going to shape out to be. I think it's going to be more similar to Giannis if Giannis had a bag.
You mean
like
Giannis with a jump shot?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Giannis with a jump shot.
I don't know about that.
To me,
Giannis is aggressive.
To me, for sure, he's a mix of Porzingis, like when Porzingis was in EuroLeague and when he first came into the league. Definitely Kevin Durant. I could see maybe Giannis. I can see defensively a little Gobert in there.
Rudy? Rudy? Did Dwight Howard put Rudy Gobert in
I don't
that,
know if I would
on
compare him to Giannis though. I personally wouldn't.
Well,
compare him
you
to
know who was
Giannis.
my first comparison, but he's nowhere near established because he hasn't even really played like a regular season game yet. Is Chet Holmgren.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah.
Chet Holmgren is going to be a problem. I'm calling it before, like I said, he's even played a regular season game because unfortunately he got hurt last year in the preseason. That dude was going to be a problem though. He was going off in the summer league. I think that's when he got hurt in the summer league. It was that early, but he's going to be a problem.
He's another one. I think that both of them need to put on weight.
Yeah.
I don't think you can play in the NBA that's that skinny.
Dwight Howard came in
really,
skinny
really
like this.
skinny.
Yeah,
Dwight Howard.
That's
No,
what I'm
not-
saying. Giannis
not
did
like
too, though.
this.
Giannis was super skinny.
Yeah, he was.
Like this though.
No, yeah, Dwight was
Howard.
Dwight was put together.
No, he wasn't.
Dwight was not that skinny.
thought
Dwight did not look
he
like
didn't
that.
look like that.
Howard,
Dwight Howard did not look like that when he came into the league.
rookie, pitcher, rookie year. Let's see.
No way.
Images. Ooh, y'all might be right.
We did
Nah,
not.
honestly,
In no
yeah,
way
he
he looked like
was kind
that.
of brolic.
Yeah.
Let me see. Dwight was skinny. Remember, he couldn't even
He
do
wasn't that
185 on the
skinny.
bench. Let me see.
Because when he was winning those slam dunk contests, that wasn't that far
He
after
was like
his rookie season.
slim. He's probably I would
He was
compare him
huge.
to like what Bam looked like when he first got into like he had muscle. He
right.
wasn't
Little
as
definition.
he had definition. He was
Alright.
but he did not look like that. Come on. You think Dwight Howard looked
Yeah,
like that when he
look,
came to the league?
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
not
think
him.
so.
But Ashley, what were you telling us about Chet Holmgren in the production meeting? You said like a card of his.
No, so his card.
Yeah.
His Sports
I said
Illustrated,
Chet, it was
Sports
women.
Illustrated, I believe it was a cover or a Sports Illustrated photo of him sold for $6,000 on
Dang.
eBay,
That's crazy.
which I'm
dude has
sure when he
promise.
goes number one is going to be worth a lot
I know,
more
a
than
lot
that.
more than that,
So $6,000 well spent.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, guys. How about we talk about a little bit of football? We got the 2 early Super Bowl predictions, right? So let's look at some of the teams that FanDuel they released some of the odds of their Super Bowl winners next year. But let's take a look and maybe give our prediction and who we think is going to win. So at the top right now, we got the Kansas City Chiefs. We got the Eagles coming in with the second best odds. You got the Buffalo Bills, 49ers,
Where's the Jets?
Bengals, and Cowboys. Yeah, right?
Where are the Jets?
They're not even in the top 6.
Is this not disrespectful?
The Cowboys are there.
Why aren't the Jets here? And why are the Cowboys on this list? Like, no, seriously, Ashley, San Francisco 49ers. Let me pull this up. Let's go to
49ers, those odds are pretty high, I feel like. No?
Honestly, truthfully, I would really just I don't know if I have to start a petition. I don't know if I got to go on a crusade. I don't know if I have to go on the floor at Capitol Hall. Whatever I have to do to stop getting people to pick the Cowboys to make the Super Bowl, please let me know.
Why do you want them to stop picking the
Because
Cowboys?
it is a jinx. Stop putting this on us. Leave us
jinx.
alone. I feel like the minute people stop picking us to win is the year we're going to win. Is the year we'll get close. I want
No one's
the
ever
eyes
going to
off of
stop.
us.
That's
Stop
Jerry's
picking
fault.
us to win the
Blame
Super
Jerry.
Bowl.
Blame
Leave
Jerry.
us alone.
Blame
Leave us
Jerry.
alone.
Listen, I'm looking at the National Football Conference, so the NFC. It's weak. So you go to the NFC East, right? Philadelphia Eagles, Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants, Washington Football Commanders. This is a tough division. I like the Giants. I think the Giants are going to be tough here. But Philly, to me, has the edge. Dallas, like you said, we talk about them every single year. Last year, they went 12-5. They couldn't get over the hump. We'll see if they can do it this year. Then you go to the NFC North. I actually like the Minnesota Vikings odds or their chances better than the Dallas Cowboys. And then you go to NFC South, is super weak. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you got Baker Mayfield. He ain't leading you nowhere. Carolina Panthers, a rookie. He ain't leading you nowhere, but he has tremendous upside. The New Orleans Saints, Derek Carr, there's an argument that if he was going to do it, he would have already done it. And Atlanta Falcons, nothing's happening there. Then you have the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC West. It's going to be interesting to see what the Seattle Seahawks do this year. Los Angeles Rams, this is a rebuilt year for them. Arizona Cardinals, I think there'll be a surprise. Kyler Murray coming back. He'll be healthy. But I think a lot of that has to do with DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins is special. I know he's entering, the tail end of his career. But DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray, they could be dangerous in this division. But the NFC conference is weak as hell. And then you go to the AFC. So let me say this before I go to the AFC. On the NFC side, I got the San Francisco 49ers or the Philadelphia Eagles coming out of that conference. And I think the edge is Philly. The edge is Philly because they have the better quarterback.
In my face like that?
Well,
All right,
think about it.
Whatever.
I like the Dallas Cowboys, but until they prove it, I think we got to stop talking about, like you said. But Philly, they have the better quarterback, okay? Defensively, they're stronger. Running game got better, okay? And they still have two dogs outside at wide receiver, the X and the Z. So I think they're going to be better. You talking about
That's how you feel?
And then the AFC. The AFC is loaded. Let's go to the AFC East. The Buffalo Bills. All right. I do think this is going to be a year where they take a step back.
Me too.
You lose Leslie Frazier, your defensive coordinator. I'm hearing some rumblings that there's some people that's not happy, not completely happy.
I also think Jalen and Diggs got some. I'm Jalen. I also think Josh and
I don't know. I'm just saying. I just just
might
doesn't.
Be some contention there a little bit. It looked like
they need to get over. They got 20 different handshakes. They need to get over. If that is true, they need to get over that. The grass isn't always green on the other side. The Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins will be scary if Tua stays healthy, right? But I like the backup quarterback they brought in. What's the kid's name from the Jets that came in? What's his name?
Mike White.
Mike White came in last year. And,
I said he's from Broward boy.
So Mike White came in last year for the Jets, and he played really big. The Miami Dolphins will be scary. The New England Patriots, they're always going to give you a problem, but I'm not afraid of the New England Patriots, but they will be a solid team. The New York Jets. So you're looking at 3 teams out of that division that could potentially go.
Well, the chat is saying, Demetrius Carter is saying Miami is winning that division. And somebody else said Miami is taking it all.
Yep, they all right.
Listen, they're not far off. You go get Jalen Ramsey.
Someone said Miami ain't taking anything but an early vacation.
Listen, no, I don't know, man. If Tua played extremely well last year. Tua was a top 3 quarterback when he was healthy, right? He missed 4 or 5 games. Tua played lights out, super efficient. He was accurate. He and his coach were on the same page, and that means everything. Who was that in the chat?
Demetrius,
you're not far off, buddy.
Yeah,
you're not far off, but the Jets, and that's why I'm surprised that the Jets wasn't on that, because you look at the top 5 defense, and then you add Aaron Rodgers. That's a big deal. That's a cheat code.
Yeah.
Top 5 defense.
Yeah, I don't know.
And you add Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, so let's play a little game then. We're gonna play a little game. I'm gonna give you the divisions, and you tell me the winner of each division. Ready?
Let's go.
AFC West.
AFC West. I'm gonna go with the Kansas.
Ain't that easy.
I'm gonna go with the Kansas City Chiefs, but the Denver Broncos will make it hard.
So Chiefs. That's your pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay. AFC North.
AFC North. I'm gonna go with the jeez.
That's Bengals, Ravens, and whatnot.
That's Bengals, Ravens, Browns, Steelers.
I think the Cleveland Browns will be a scary team this year. I'm gonna go with the Baltimore Ravens.
Yep, made the right choice too.
Okay. We're gonna go AFC South. That's Colts, Titans, Jaguars, Texans.
Does it even matter?
It does. They're a division.
There's a strong team out there now.
Listen, the Colts will be surprisingly good this year. Interested to see what Ryan Tannehill and Tennessee does, but the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's the team.
We could be looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars in the AFC Championship
Again, right? Weren't they in it last year?
Man, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay. And then
that
I'm
was
going to
just
go
the
ahead and
second
make
round,
it
wasn't it? Second
extra
round.
spicy for you. The AFC East.
I mean, this is an easy one. I do think that Demetrius is on to something when he's typing about the Miami Dolphins, Buffalo Bills. We expect the Buffalo Bills to be good. They were 13-3 last year, but the Jets to me has everything to be a contender and to win. I have the Jets winning 13 games next year. They're that good defensively. You know, the defense is going to win 8. And then you have Aaron Rodgers, and then you have those receivers. Oh man, it's going to be a great year for us, Ashley.
Corey, you wanna defend your Miami Dolphins before we move on to the NFC and tell Brandon why he's wrong?
I mean,
I'll just sit here and watch.
Yeah, I don't even like. Do I need to go in depth? It's just like we're just so deep from top to bottom. Like on offense, we do have the most explosive offense in that division. That's hands down. And then you got to think we have probably the best secondary in that division as well. And then of course our front line is we're good from a defensive line standpoint. We can rush the passer and we have good run stoppers with is it Wilkins? Wilkins on the inside. He's one of the top D tackles in the NFL. I'm not worried at all about the Miami Dolphins. Like, and we're just gonna have to see what happens. I of course got the Dolphins winning that division.
They'll blow it. The Miami Dolphins will blow
Rebuttal.
it.
Here we
That's
go.
what I'm saying.
They'll find themselves in Tootsies.
No.
Booby
Tuesday's
trap.
healthy, it's over.
What's the other one? Gold rush room. They'll be man. Miami Dolphins. Miami has way too many distractions.
Nah, but you're gonna have problems with every angle you try to attack this team defensively, and every angle you try to stop them defensively as well.
Just throw a party at Booby Trap. That's it.
We got guys that's locked in this year. I ain't worried about
you think
that.
Tua is going to Booby Trap?
Everybody did enough partying in their
Tua
lives
ain't going to Booby Trap.
Okay.
But everybody else is.
Hey man,
who ain't going to Booby
Dolphins
Trap?
been hurting for too long, man. They know how important this is.
All right.
We've been
All right.
Let's go to the NFC.
Let's switch gears then. We're going to go NFC West. We have the Cardinals. We have the 49ers. We have the Rams. We have the Seahawks.
San Francisco 49ers wins this division. They win it easy. This team is going to be crazy good. Purdy, get healthy, baby.
Okay. We have the NFC South. Falcons, Panthers, Saints, Bucks.
I mean, look, you go with the experienced quarterback, Derek Carr. I brought him up earlier, but Derek Carr with Michael Thomas, Olave. Is it Chris Olave?
Yeah, Chris Olave.
Chris Olave used to train here. Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara. I think they're bringing back Mark Ingram. So on the offensive side, they have the continuity there. Derek Carr just got to get caught up to speed. They haven't changed anything there. And on the defensive side, Dennis Allen, he's the head coach. But Dennis Allen, to me, is a top 3 defensive coordinator in the NFL. And every single year they find a way to put it together when it matters the most, and that's post-Thanksgiving Day. So I got the New Orleans Saints winning this division. They could be a team that's scary, but I don't see them really contending, but they will threaten some folks.
All right, we're going to take it to the north. We got Chicago, Detroit, Packers, Vikings. Who you got?
I'm going to scratch the Packers, Detroit Lions. What they have, like 6-7 players gambling? What are y'all doing? Come on, leave it up to the retired guys. They got 6-7 dudes suspended. I don't know what they was betting on. They was betting in the locker room. We still don't have all the information. That was a big blow to the Detroit Lions. The Minnesota Vikings, they're going to be good. They added some firepower there. This is a hard one for me because I think that the Chicago Bears find a way to have a good season. I think the Chicago Bears find a way to overcome terrible management over all these years. Now they got new management now. New management. He's making some big moves. So could he put it together? Could Justin Fields get this team over the hump? I think Justin Fields is pissed off. But I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings, Ashley.
Okay.
I think, the Chicago Bears win 9 games. They win 9 games.
As the winner in that division?
No, they're not the winners. Minnesota Vikings.
Oh,
Kirk
you did say the
Cousins,
Vikings,
he's just Kirk Cousins, right? Now, does Kirk Cousins threaten you? Does he scare you? I'm not sure. If you're a Aaron Rodgers, you're a Patrick Mahomes. You know, there's some other quarterbacks out there, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts. But he will be consistent. And he added some firepower.
All right. And last but not least, one of the most toxic relationships I find myself in, the NFC East, everybody. We have the Giants. We have the Eagles. We have the Commanders. And we have the Dallas Cowboys. Who you going with? I know. You're going to say it. Go ahead, say it.
If they get Saquon Barkley, the Giants.
That's not where I thought you were going to go.
No, I'm messing with you. Philly, Ashley, Philly. It's just simple
Make sure
football.
y'all clip this, because when we're NFC East champions once again, I'm going to go ahead and run this back for you.
Ashley, really
Go
good
ahead, though.
defense, balance, offense, and just a KISS offense. You know what a KISS offense is?
Tell me.
You know it. KISS.
Nice and sweet? Simple?
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, I was going to say nice and sweet, simple.
Oh, that's what they say?
Nice and sweet and simple.
Oh my goodness. So to me, I just think that I love their brand of football. I love Hurts' leadership style. There's an argument that he hasn't even entered his prime. Maybe this is the year, right? This is year 5 for him, right? I think he's going to take a lot from last year. He's going to pull a lot from losing the Super Bowl. And he's going to bring other guys with them. I think they have a chip on their shoulder. I love this head coach. I love Howie and what he's been able to do. Didn't they have the best draft out of everyone? You had general managers pissed off at Howie. He's getting too much attention. Why do we keep celebrating Howie? You literally had general managers coming out saying, how does this guy keep doing it? And we're giving him too much attention. Howie is that guy. So not only do you bring your team back, but you find a way to add the pieces that you need that can take you to a whole nother level. And you're already right there. So, Ashley, I know you love the Dallas Cowboys. This is going to be a tough year for you guys. I know you think this is a tough division, but the Philadelphia Eagles, they're special.
I'm just confused because you speak
Why?
you speak so highly of Jalen Hurts.
That's
which
right.
I can understand. He's been to a Super Bowl MVP. He's good looking. You know, he's got. I get it.
I didn't say he was good looking. You said that.
Okay.
He's good looking.
I just threw that in there. But you also speak so highly of Daniel Jones, but Dak Prescott, I don't ever hear these accolades. Why is that?
No.
You think
remember
Daniel
what I said
Jones is
about
better than Dak Prescott?
No, remember.
Oh,
remember when we first started this show. I did a whole segment on why Dak Prescott wasn't good but great. Right? All you gotta do is look at the numbers. I compared Dak Prescott's numbers through the first 6-7 years to Drew Brees, to Ben Roethlisberger, to Tom Brady, to Peyton Manning, to Russell Wilson. Like, I did that, and his numbers are up there with the best. So I love Dak Prescott. But what about this coach?
I mean,
do you take your coach over Brian Daboll?
I take my talent over what the Giants have. So
Talent? Talk to me about it.
I feel like
Where do you guys have the edge?
you don't think the Cowboys are a more talented team than the Giants?
You think the Cowboys are more talented
Offensively?
offensively? Receiver position, who has the edge?
I mean, let's go ahead and look at it. Well, Saquon, let's take Saquon out of the equation because we don't know what's going to happen.
Hold on, who are we talking about? Philly, or are we talking about
I'm talking about Giants.
Oh, you're
The
talking about
Cowboys.
Giants.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Who do you think has a better offense? The more talented offense. The Dallas Cowboys, without a doubt. You're going to go ahead and go with these guys?
I got the Dallas Cowboys with the better offense, absolutely.
Defensively, who has the better defense?
I'll give them some love, right? When Dak can easily go out there and average 450 yards. That offense, 450 yards a game, for sure. I give them the edge.
Okay, defensively,
I give
we're
the
better.
coach the edge. The coach. I'm taking the New York Giants. I'm talking Brian Daboll from a coaching standpoint.
Would you say that this division will come down to the Cowboys and the Eagles to win it? Would you say that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
As long as you give me that.
But I thought we was talking about the Philadelphia Eagles. Didn't you think that?
We ain't talking about the Eagles.
Yeah, you know that's a problem. You know it's a problem.
No.
Brandon Marshall here, Ashley Nicole Moss, Corey in the cut. We have Woo out west, our fact checker. Hey,
Woo
how
in
you
the
doing,
West.
Woo in the West, right? This is Paper Route. We're here Monday through Thursday from 12 to 2. Sometimes we start at 1. You know why? Because we're on YouTube. And we're also on SiriusXM Faction Talk, channel 103. For you guys that are driving and want to tune in, you can listen to us anywhere where you get your podcast, but make sure you stop at SiriusXM first. You got Stitcher, Pandora, and then also, did you guys know that YouTube added a new feature, like where you can listen to your audio on YouTube podcasts?
That's dope.
See, y'all don't have to worry about these things.
Wait, what's everybody's football allegiance here? I know you're a Dolphins fan. I'm obviously a Dallas Cowboy fan. Brandon, you're a Jets fan, I would assume, or a Bears fan. Which one do you lean towards?
Jets was my favorite team, but I'm from Pittsburgh, right?
So you're a Steelers fan.
I grew up a Steelers fan. I'm a Steelers fan, but Jets was my favorite experience.
So you're a Jets fan.
Steelers, Jets.
You can't pick both. You gotta pick one.
I grew up in Pittsburgh,
Cavs, Nets.
and then I made it to the league.
Pick a side. What side are we going on? Steelers and Jets play each other. Who are you rooting for?
I'm going for the Jets.
Okay, so you're a Jets fan. Woo, what do you got?
I'm a Giants fan all day.
Oh, hell no.
In the same division, Ashley.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my God. Ew.
Who had his hands up ready to reveal his team?
We can't hear him, but he let me know he repping for the Giants.
So if anybody has any producing experience, we are looking for 2 new producers. You cannot be a fan of any team in the NFC East that is not the Dallas Cowboys. If that sounds like you, please send your resume. We'll drop that email on the bottom of the screen here, and we'll go ahead and look at your resume. Thank you so much, because this one and that one both gotta go. Yeah.
Listen,
we're not doing that.
Listen, this is gonna be a fun year. It's definitely in studio, right? A lot of storylines here. I don't think Ashley, you'll give me a hard time because you don't really have any beef.
I have
with
no
the
beef
Jets.
with the Jets. No, it's the other
but
team
you
that
two
plays
going
in their
back and
stadium.
forth. But me and you, Corey, we'll have some moments this year.
I can't wait for this season.
I think this is going to be a phenomenal NFL season. I think this is going to be, a year where there's going to be teams coming out of the woodwork, like just being good, whether that's the Cleveland Browns, the Indianapolis Colts, the Denver Broncos. I know we have Russell Wilson and Peyton, Coach Sean Payton, but are we really expecting them to be really good? I don't think a lot of people are counting on them to be exceptional, but I think they will definitely turn it around. The Giants. I think the Giants are hurting themselves right now. They got it done with their defensive tackle, so they got him back in, big boy, pause. But Saquon Barkley, that's a big miss for them. Saquon Barkley makes everything go on that offensive side. He played phenomenal last year. He got his career back on track. For him not to be in camp right now, not to be in the building, that's a big problem because he's also the juice. He's also the guy that gets people going. He is still young, I would say, but as soon as he walked in, he was the leader, right? And so I think that hurts you, especially if you're Brian Daboll and this is year 2. But they had to make a decision. You got your quarterback, and that was a tough position for him. It's like, if we move away from Danny Dimes, who's out there, who's available? So they had to pay him, and then they had to pay their D tackle, right? So that's tough. You can't pay, everybody, and I think they potentially made the wrong decision. I don't think anything's happening in the NFC South, but I am excited to see the Atlanta Falcons. Right? Like, I'm excited to see this young quarterback play. I'm excited to see the young quarterback in Carolina. New Orleans, Derek Carr.
It's gonna be interesting.
I mean, shoot, like this is his opportunity to prove everyone wrong.
Yeah.
So I just think this year is going to be phenomenal. I can't wait. A lot of storylines. We're ramping up. The show is ramping up. We're ramping up. We're going to have contributors.
Before we move on to Fact or Foolish, somebody in the chat wants to say, Lake City Fresh says, "Hey, Brandon, I'm in Pittsburgh now in Homestead. Do you know where that is?"
Homestead? What you doing in Homestead?
Homestead?
That ain't Pittsburgh.
That's
No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Damn. Okay.
There's a Homestead.
You got to come out east, baby. Homewood. You sure he ain't say Homewood? Homewood's the hood.
It does say Homestead. I'm
Okay,
seeing that too.
Homewood, baby. You got to come to East Liberty. You got to come out there to Garfield. You got to go out there to Lincoln. That's where AD's from. So where Aaron Donald's from. Our fathers kind of competed growing up in so many different areas. So right here you have Larmer, and then you have the Bridge, and then you have Lincoln. So you have some legendary guys.
Anybody from Pittsburgh in the chat? Let's see if we have any fellow. What do you guys?
Of course, there's people.
What is somebody from
what do you call
Pittsburgh
them?
called? Are you a Pittsburghian?
No, from the Bird.
Oh, you're from the Bird.
From the
The
bird.
Bird.
Okay. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What are people from Miami called?
Huh?
What are people
Y'all
from Miami
call that?
called?
I don't.
Miamians.
Miamians.
Really? Is that?
Nah, is that a thing? Is that a yeah, you from Dade. Yeah,
That's a good question. People
from
do
the bottom of the rock.
You from Dade? You from Broward.
Or
Either from
people-
Dade or from Broward. That's it.
Is it Miamians for real? I know
No,
we're
no,
New
no.
Yorkers,
He's
obviously.
making up stuff.
You just from Dade. You just from Miami Dade. Yeah.
Just
but,
from
but Dade.
305, bottom of the rock.
Oh, no.
Oh, Pittsburghers are sometimes called Yinzers, and the word is unique to the region.
Yinzers.
Yeah,
Yins.
Yins. Yeah, but like that's not my side.
Oh,
of the
we got
neighborhood.
some people. Okay, we have Q says, I'm from Bloomfield, East End. Anasis Neely says 717. Zachary Austin says, I'm from Blitzburg.
Blitzburg. He's from the hood.
Let's see.
You said Yinzer. They from the other side. They from the airport.
He said, Lake City Fresh came back and said,
Jits.
I was on the hill. I moved to Homestead, bro. I need some peace. It's still wild up here.
Oh, he's on the hill?
LOL. That's what he said.
Oh, the
Yeah.
hill?
You say you moved from the hill, right? Yeah.
He says, I was on the hill. I moved to Homestead. I needed some peace. It's wild up here still.
Oh my goodness.
So there really is a homestead in like the Pittsburgh area.
Yeah.
Homestead.
Interesting.
The hill district. Serious.
Yeah.
We also put out a lot of athletes. The whole Pittsburgh area. Jason Taylor.
Like serious, like bad serious?
Really
or?
good.
Oh.
Jason Taylor, Hall of Famer. Darrell Revis, Hall of Famer. You got some old quarterbacks. Jim Kelly.
Oh, wow.
Dan Marino.
Yeah, that's already good.
Joe
Wow.
Montana, right?
Damn.
Nah, Joe Montana's from Pittsburgh?
Let me see. I might be off
Why'd
on
I feel
Joe.
he was from California?
I thought so too.
Joe Montana. I'm off on
He's from Pittsburgh.
Boom, 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 boom,
Damn,
boom.
y'all got
Those some
Marino
great
and
names.
Montana?
He's from New England.
He's from the west side.
Pennsylvania.
He's from the
sure
west
Oh,
side.
that doesn't
Suburb.
count.
It's
That doesn't
a
count then,
suburb
does
of
it?
So Western PA. Western PA. Let me see. Let's Google Western PA quarterbacks.
That's crazy.
I know
Yeah.
that was a lot
Someone
of big
said
names.
shout out
Western.
to Queen City. Is that from Is that Pittsburgh?
Nah, Queen City, isn't that like somewhere in the Carolinas? I thought.
Guess who else is from
Charlotte.
Pittsburgh?
Might be thinking of something else.
Johnny Unitas.
Damn. What's in the
What?
water in Pittsburgh?
Jim Kelly, Joe Montana, Dan Marino.
Joe Namath.
Holy
No,
crap.
Joe Namath. is
Joe
from
Namath.
Pittsburgh?
I just call him Johnny.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What's in the water in Pittsburgh?
Right, they just breeding.
They
Yeah,
just breeding
dog.
quarterbacks and like, well, not just any quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
That's what I'm saying.
Nuts. Legends. They breed in legends.
NFL players
from
from
Pittsburgh.
Wow. Dan
Pittsburgh.
Marino and Montana.
list. Tyler Boyd, Aaron Donald, Tony Dorsett.
Damn.
Oh, he's a great.
What they got? LaShawn McCoy from like Harrisburg. No, sorry. I gotta
about
come
to
back
say,
to
he's
this
definitely
list.
not from
Curtis
Pittsburgh.
Martin, he's from Pittsburgh.
Oh,
Darrell Revis, I said Darrell Revis already.
Damn.
Curtis
Mhm.
Martin was nice. That was the running back, right?
Yes,
He was
Hall
tough.
of Famer.
Yeah, he was tough.
Darrell Revis played for the
He played
Jets.
for the Jets. Well,
James
Curtis Martin did
Conner.
too.
We got some dogs,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Damn. All right.
All right, how about we hop in and have Fact or Foolish?
Fact or foolish?
Let's
do
go.
it. It's time.
Start
time.
fast,
Finish strong.
finish
There you
strong.
go. So remember, in this segment, I'm going to read these guys a statement. They determine whether it's fact or foolish, but they have to give their explanation why. So it started off yesterday. CBS Sports announced that they are hiring former quarterback Matt Ryan as a studio and game analyst for the 2023 season. With this announcement, Matt Ryan wanted to make it clear that he is not retiring, and the Colts are actually they actually owe him $12 million next year, so that's interesting. But he will be in the broadcast booth for the 2023 season. So, fact or foolish, quarterback Matt Ryan gets another shot in the NFL.
Listen,
maybe as a backup.
I say, ooh.
So I guess technically fact.
This is tough, right?
Yeah.
I want to say fact because every year we hear about some quarterback that's retired, that's at home, may have been home for 2 years, whether that's Ben Roethlisberger. He said the San Francisco 49ers hit him up last year. They had 3 quarterbacks go down. Mm-hmm. You had Phillip Rivers. He said that he was thinking about coming back. He got a call. And every year you hear these stories of quarterbacks. Hell, there's still teams flirting with Andrew Luck.
Carson Wentz.
Right? Well, Carson Wentz, he played last year.
I mean,
So a contender, I can see a contender reaching out to Matty Ice, right? If their quarterback goes down, I can absolutely see this happening. But Matty Ice is done, right? Mm-hmm. That's why he's in the booth this year. And he's keeping his options open by making that statement. But I'll go fact here.
How do you think he'll do in the booth? I mean, I never met him. Like, I don't know his personality, but like from observing his personality, it doesn't seem like.
I think when you talk about football, Matty Ice is. I mean, he was a great quarterback. Let's not get it twisted.
No, it's super knowledgeable, super high IQ. But is he going to be entertaining?
Correct. Well, high football IQ. He knows ball, so he'll be able to break it down at the highest level, being able to, within 5 to 15 seconds, tell you what's happening on the offensive side, what's happening on the defensive side, what coaches are thinking, talking about clock management, situational football, all of those things. But I just feel like people nowadays, they want to be entertained. And what's entertaining for us fans now is like authentic. It's real. It's like take the suit off, right? Remember before you got in trouble, Talib? Mm-hmm. Like, remember, Talib was blowing up. And even that's why Romo blew up, because Romo was in there. He wasn't just going through the X's and O's and being stuff. Yeah, he was like, oh, my goodness. He was in there with Naz and just saying stuff, right? Like, it was like he was in his man cave. So I think you will learn from Matt Ryan, but I don't know if you'll be entertained.
Yeah. All right, we'll see how Matt Ryan does and what happens. Does he get another shot or not? We'll see. Moving on, over the weekend, shout out Jalen Hurts. He earned his master's degree from OU. And then also Todd Bowles, right? Coach in the NFL. He walked across the stage at Mount St. Mary. He was a former player in the NFL. He actually entered the draft early, didn't get to earn his degree after, in 1986, when like I mentioned, he left early. Went back and got his degree. He made the promise to his mom he'd always do so.
Oh, wow.
But I want to get y'all's thoughts on this, right? LA Rams 4th-round draft pick, quarterback Stetson Bennett. He's the University of Georgia's quarterback, won 2 national titles. He still doesn't have his degree, and he was in school since 2017. So fact or foolish, LA Rams 4th-round draft pick, quarterback Stetson Bennett returns to University of Georgia to get his degree.
How the hell does that happen?
Right.
Well, first of all, before we dive into that, I want to shout out Moolah01. He said, I'm from Chicago, and Brandon is still my favorite wide receiver.
Oh.
Aww.
That is nice.
Yeah. I love Chicago. Chicago treated me good. I miss Chicago.
Even in the winter?
Yeah, I loved it. I loved all the seasons. Love Chicago. But anyways, back to this guy. This is foolish, so I'm going to go with foolish.
Why is it foolish?
If he hasn't gotten it in 6 years, what makes you think he's going to get it?
I mean, Todd Bowles just went back and got his degree.
Yeah, but Todd Bowles left early, Ashley. You stayed late.
about
6 years and you can't complete liberal studies,
not
criminal
liberal
justice,
studies.
education.
You know what his major is?
Like, you know what liberal studies is?
I know it's like a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's a little bit of this, a
Yeah.
little bit of that, right? You couldn't graduate with that. Like, I mean, what is he going to school for?
Right. That's
He's going to school for the vibes.
He's going.
That's
to
what
school.
he's going to school for.
He's going to school to play football.
It's
That's
just the
what he's doing.
vibes. Vibes
play
and football.
football.
Is this not a red flag for your quarterback? Like, think about that. If you're a team and you have your quarterback, he has to be the guy. You're talking about you're the CEO. Okay, you got to be able to lead up, lead down. You got to be able to meet people where they're at. You got to be able to understand what everybody's doing in the field, and you got to understand what the offensive coordinator is doing and the defensive coordinator is doing. And you got a guy spent 6 years in college and couldn't get it done. That's a red flag. That's not a red flag for you?
Is it that he couldn't get it done, or he chose not to get it done? Maybe he just loves college
I think
life.
both
Maybe
are red flags.
Maybe
right?
y'all ever see what's the Will Ferrell movie?
Will Ferrell.
Yeah. Oh, is it House Party? No.
Will Ferrell.
No.
House
Oh
Party.
my God!
What?
When they go
Ashley?
back to college, old school, where he rolls up with the skateboard, with the backwards hat, and he goes, "Sup, bros?" And he's like 40. Me just can't let that. He's like, what that song? I love college. Yeah.
He
I
wanna
love
experience that
parties.
later on, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he just.
Frank the Tank.
Yeah.
Maybe he's holding on to the experience.
Frank
he's like,
the
all right,
Tank, baby.
Give it,
No way.
laying it up for him to go back.
The vibes, man. It's hard to give up. It's hard to give up the beer pong and the kegs and the girls.
Brandon Marshall, Ashley Nicole Moss. I don't know what she just sung. I don't know what movie she's
Never seen
referring
Old
to.
School?
I think I have.
Oh.
This is Corey in the cut. We got Woo in the West.
Woo in the West.
Woo in the West.
Yeah.
BC in the back.
BC in the back. Okay, so we just want to say thank you guys for rocking with us. We're gearing up for a phenomenal day tomorrow. You have the Lakers. Well, tonight is the Lakers and the Nuggets, right? So we already previewed that game. Tomorrow we'll be able to talk about it. It's dry in football land right now. It's not much to talk about for football season, but I'm excited about football season.
Same.
I'm excited about that. So if you're listening to us on SiriusXM, we love you, channel 103. And then if you're watching, we love you too. We're starting to see some of the same people come back, and that's pretty cool. I do have a problem with Go St. Patrick, though. I love you, brother.
That's box.
Yeah, but like, can you explain, please, in the chat, Go St. Patrick. You come back, you show your love, you support us, you rock with us. You could be anywhere else. So how do you go from, in one sentence, talking trash to another sentence showing love? Please explain that to me. I'm open to it. Whatever he says, I'm open to him. What do you think his answer is going to be?
Just doing his job, I guess. I don't know.
That's his job. No, I love you, Ghost.
Just joking.
All right, what do we
All
have
right.
next for a fact?
Yeah,
Or
next
foolish?
one. Quinnen Williams, Jets defensive tackle, changed his Twitter bio yesterday to defensive tackle for ... Right, and a little messy move by him. But right now he's in contract negotiations with the Jets, and they're not seeing eye to eye. So, of course, he's doing that in efforts to maybe speed up that process of getting him the deal that he wants. So factor foolish, because right now he's looking to get placed in this range amongst other fellow D tackles in the league. Jets D tackle Quinnen Williams becomes the top 3 highest paid D tackle before seasons begins. Factor foolish.
Fact. The dominoes have to fall. The first domino is what? Aaron Rodgers reworking his contract, right? Everybody knows it starts up front. You have to win the trenches if you want to win the game. That defensive line makes everything go. He makes even Sauce Gardner better, because Sauce Gardner, when Q is on the field, Sauce doesn't have to cover as long, right? And they know that, right? So Q is represented, I believe, by Clutch Sports. They do a phenomenal job. They understand, how to fight for their guys, and this guy is him. He's legendary. And so they'll find a way to get this done, but it's going to take some time because they have to get Aaron Rodgers reworked. Because right now, I think Aaron Rodgers is due to make $60 million this year. Obviously his base salary is right at 51 maybe, or 50.
I think
It's at 50,
even, yeah.
but I think he's due to make 60 this year. Can't have that. right? So I think they're going to rework that, and then once you see that deal fall, then Quentin will fall soon after.
Question: does that work? The changing the bios and the erasing the Instagram page, does that make like a front office be like, oh, gotta get our guy? He took us off his bio. Oh no! Like, does that actually work, or is that just like not effective at all?
It depends on who the guy is, right? Like, think about this: if you're a nice guy in the locker room, if you're always, a team guy, then there's like, man, this is going in one ear and out the other. But if you a dog, right? Like, you can get messy a little bit, you can rile it up a little bit, they definitely get concerned, right? So I don't think he's that guy. I mean, he's a super nice guy. I mean, he's a dog on the field, he's nasty on the field. I mean, he's a monster. But off the field, or even in between plays or on the sideline, the dude is the nicest guy, has the biggest smile. I think he got his teeth done, big pearly whites, right? So, like, I don't think anybody's taking that serious from the Jets, him changing his bio. Lamar Jackson did that, didn't he? Let's talk about some of the guys that did that. Lamar Jackson, wiped this.
Well, he just did a whole lot.
No, that was Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray did it, but I think Lamar had a picture. His avatar was him maybe with the Ravens.
Well, I mean, he wrote a goodbye letter to his fans too.
Right.
Yeah, I can't recall Lamar, but I know for a fact Kyler Murray did it.
I think Kyler Murray scares you.
Well, he's your quarterback, of course.
Well, it's not just that too, but think about Kyler Murray will go out there like he's feisty.
Not only did he scrub his Instagram account, but he didn't put the letter out. He in with the double whammy.
Kyler
Murray put the letter out.
He put a letter out too?
He put a letter out saying that he and his team were looking for a deal and that he wants to come back to the Cardinals, but he's not going to sell himself short. It was his whole letter that he put out.
But Kyler, that's part of the talk around Kyler. You heard Larry Fitzgerald come out, who never talks about anybody. And he said, like, he needs to grow up. He needs to become a better leader, right? So, like, when Kyler Murray does something like that, he scares you. Lamar Jackson, he scares you. Why? Because Lamar Jackson, he is a team guy. He's going to show up and do the right things. He's not even going to talk that much. But you know where he's from, Ashley? Where he from?
Where is he from? Oh, Lamar, the 954.
No, you ain't do it right. Corey, where he from?
He from Pompano.
He from Pompano.
The 954.
I know, but you know who else is from Pompano? You got to be specific. Tell her who's from Pompano.
Kodak Black.
Kodak Black.
That's why I said the 954.
No, ask her like this.
Though. You be doing
you go like, she doing like this.
Oh, I don't want to touch my lip gloss.
No, you got like
Understandable.
I don't want to touch my lip
this.
gloss.
My lips is dry.
Just so y'all know.
And sorry, it was Kyler Murray's agent who put the letter out, not Kyler Murray.
That's what it was.
Okay.
So when Lamar wanted his contract, you know what he did? That big banner photo that you have at the top of your profile.
Oh.
He changed that to a guy with 4 to the top that just said, "I need money."
Oh, that's tough. Hey, that's actually tough. I didn't know he did that. That's hard. All right, guys, moving on to our next fact or foolish statement. We're going to go back to the NBA. Last week on The Herd, Colin Cowherd said that this offseason, the Warriors, who were just unfortunately sent home in this previous semifinal round, should trade Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins to the Celtics for Jaylen Brown and Malcolm Brogdon. Now, if you remember, there was reports that was circulating. It was maybe like in March that Jaylen Brown was just not happy with being in Boston. Now, of course, that might change things if they bring home a title, this year. But let's say they don't, right? Fact or foolish, Ashley, does this trade make sense to you?
No. I mean, I think that JB does have ties to that area. He went to Berkeley, which I believe is in the Bay. You can correct me on that.
Yeah, Cal Berkeley. He went to Cal?
Yeah,
I
so he has ties there, but I think it's going to be hard. The trade to me sounds terrible, but I think it's going to be hard also to trade Jordan Poole at this moment in time, given the postseason he's coming off of. You know that the NBA has short-term memories. Right. They're not going to think about Jordan Poole in the regular season. They're not even going to think about Jordan Poole last season before he got paid. They're going to think about Jordan Poole
and the shot that he took from
the shot that he took and the shots that he didn't take. His 0-0-0-0 stat line or his 10-0-0-0-0 stat line. Like, it's going to be hard to trade him I think coming off of that season, I don't know why they would trade Wiggins. I think Wiggins is a nice piece to the Golden State Warriors. He came back after dealing with his personal issues and did a phenomenal job for the team. I don't think this trade makes sense. I'm going to say foolish.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just include Wiggins just as leverage to actually get Brown back, right? I mean, I think Brown is the piece that they'd probably really looking to add. And then you got Poole for like a Brogdon, which they would probably say is kind of like a, you know, like a lateral move there. But I think it's really to get, you know, to get Brown for Wiggins. But we'll see. We'll see. Brandon, what you think?
And if the Celtics win the championship this year,
I
Jaylen
think
Brown's not going to leave.
Yeah, I don't think they break up the Jays.
Well, also what's interesting, Ashley, and sorry, I went to the bathroom, so I don't know if you hit this, but you know, before the postseason, or hell, halfway through the year, there was reports that Jaylen wanted out, right? Because of what's going on.
I don't think it had to do with the team, though. It was more about Boston.
The city
Correct.
of Boston.
Exactly. You know, he's one of those guys that marched, you know, and was on the front line and, you know, very vocal and very engaged in, you know, what was going on in our community, continues to go in our community. And that's a big deal. Boston, it could be a tough place. And so, you know, before last week or a couple days ago and the All-NBA team came out, I'm like, Jaylen's out of there. But Jaylen, you think he'll consider leaving now because now he's up for a max? Because if he leaves, he can't get the super max from any other team because he made the All-NBA. Like this is
no, I don't think that's how it works. He's still eligible for a super max.
If you leave you get the super max if you stay, right? I could be wrong here, but anyways, like it's going to be interesting to see how Jaylen Brown plays this, right? Like if they have a nice run, you know, does he stay? And then you have the money that's on the line as well. And I could be wrong here, but I thought if you're up for the super max, you can only get that if you stay with your team. But you know, we can fact check that. I feel like Andrew Wiggins.
What's the answer, Wu?
I feel like one second. I think the Warriors need Andrew Wiggins and they love him.
I said the same thing.
You said that? Okay, yeah. I can't see this happening, so I would say foolish.
Yeah.
All right, what is it, Wu?
I think you might be right. You can only get a supermax with your current team, right?
Yeah, that's what BC was confirming for me.
Okay.
I'm right.
Hey,
I'm
Brandon.
finally right.
You got
Broken
one,
clock is
You
right
got
once
one.
a day.
Yes.
Twice a day, whatever.
Yes. Can y'all clip that? Put that out everywhere.
I didn't say you were wrong. I just said I wasn't sure.
I know, but I was right.
Oh, okay. Listen, that's facts. Congratulations, bro.
Yeah, but that's a lot of money.
It's a whole lot of money. I mean, he made the NBA team, I believe. He's eligible for let me go ahead and look it up, actually. I think it's over
237 or something.
I think it's higher than
267, something ridiculous.
Well,
Christy said, "Brandon, you're right." Brandon finally got one. Muhammad, am I that bad? Have I had that bad of a run the last 2 weeks?
Oh man,
why is everybody jumping in? Finally, Brandon is on the right side of things.
295 over 5 years is what he's eligible for. And then Jason Tatum is 316 over 5 years.
Listen, let me tell Jaylen Brown this.
316, y'all heard that correctly.
that's money.
Jaylen Brown, stay there. Hey, we need you to fight within the system. You don't need to leave. Keep that bread, bro. Yeah, listen, we come to Boston. Whatever you need, we pull up with you, bro. But don't leave. All that money on the line, he can't leave that, Ashley. He can't. And you ain't selling out, bro. We support you. We riding with you. We're going to take that bread and we're going to invest in our community.
Money.
Yeah, it is, honestly.
That's baseball money.
Yeah, don't
like
walk away
that's
from
insane.
That. And you got such a nice.
All right, enough
Boston
chat.
Celtics, that's a good
Look,
legacy. You
they're
can leave
happy
there.
for you, Brandon.
Enough chat. I'm all see. You know what I figured out, Ashley? I be going too deep. I be going too deep.
Message be going over people's head. Is that what it is? Go over people's head.
Yeah, like I'm peeling back the layers. I like to get into the emotion. I like to get into the psyche. You know what I mean? I got to start coming back up to the surface. That's what I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna do that.
All right, guys. So we got a couple around tonight's game, Western Conference Finals. So right now, tonight, Anthony Davis's line on sports books for points, rebounds, and assists is at 38.5. So that means he'd have to get above 38 to cover. So
Points and assists combined?
Points, rebounds, and assists. So
all 38?
All three of those categories, he only need above 38. You going over or under? Fact or foolish?
Oh, I'm taking it over.
Yeah, right? It sound like a lick, don't it?
That's easy.
But he got that man right there, though.
Points, assists,
and rebounds, 38.
And rebounds. He'll give you 20. He's gonna give you 20. He's gonna at least give you two. Ooh, this is close.
It's close, right? Like
I know there's 20. He's gonna at least give you 20 points, 10 rebounds. This ain't sweet. This ain't sweet.
Fact. I'll take that.
You going over?
That's tough, Ashley. Listen, 20 points.
That's when it
10
seems
rebounds.
hard when you put it.
The thing is,
do the math in
again,
your
I
head.
think that
And
AD's not
assists.
going to have a problem offensively. It's defensively. These are all offensive things
So you think he? What do you?
for the most part. I mean, obviously,
You see him? You see him? You
You
see
can
him
get
over or
defensive
under
Yeah,
on
you can get
points?
defensive rebound, but for the most part,
Are you? All right. Let's start with points. 25 points. Are you taking the over or under for him tonight?
I would take the under on that.
Okay.
Not by much though. I think like 23.
Okay.
24.
Can you add this up for us? All right. Let me write this down. So you said how many
I would
points?
take the under.
Yeah,
How many
I can
points?
add that too. I can add that
23
for
or
you.
24?
I don't know. I'll go 23.
23 points. And can we clip this and let's see if this is going to really test this whole thing of you being
Yeah, we
Astradamus.
breaking it
Is
down
it
for real, for real.
But
Astradamus?
I'm a baby better though.
Are you Astradamus? Oh, now you're a baby better.
I
You
am
went
a
from
baby
not
better.
you went from not betting to now you're a baby better.
That's what I mean. Like I'm not. I'm learning.
That's
so.
fine, but Ashley, like you need to be able to speak to the people. A lot of these people.
I'm gonna go. I'll take the under 25 for him.
So 23 points.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna see if Astradamus. She calls herself. What is it called when you give yourself a nickname?
I didn't give myself that
Self-proclaimed.
nickname.
Self-proclaimed
that was given to me.
Astradamus.
That was given to
Who
me.
gave you that?
When I did a podcast
Oh,
with
see.
when I did a podcast with
Who?
Uninterrupted.
Who?
That was the nickname that they gave to
Who?
me. It was a cast of me, Lethal Shooter, and Christian Winfield, who's the beat writer for the Daily News for the Brooklyn Nets.
All right.
All right,
So
real quick, we got
JP.
rebounds and assists. We gotta get the rebounds and assists.
JP, all right, we'll get there. JP, can we clip this for tomorrow? Astradamus have a whole little graphic,
Rebounds?
Jazz, and see if she hits. So she had 23 points, and then what else?
23 points. Well, you gotta give us how many rebounds you think?
I'll
you
go
can get?
under 20 rebounds. I'll go.
You got to pick the number.
I'll go 15.
Rebounds.
50. Damn, that's a lot of boards. All right.
15 rebounds.
No.
Remember that you had us pick one time if
Actually,
he
I'm
would
gonna
have
go-
23 rebounds,
I'm
and
gonna
he had 23.
He did though. But that was
I just don't
against
see any.
a
I don't
high volume
see-
shooting Warriors team.
All right, so we
Yeah.
got rebounds. You got 15.
I mean, that's
That's
already
right
38.
at 38 right
Yeah, that's
there.
already
Okay, what
38.
about assists?
I mean, well, shit. At that point,
Well, I just want to see if Astradamus is
Actually,
a real
I'm
thing.
gonna lower that. I'm gonna go 13 rebounds, not
13.
15.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Assists.
So you at 36, and that's the category. He only averaged about 3 to 4 assists
Yeah,
a game.
I'll go the remainder in assists.
No, you're already. Oh,
No,
so
I'll go the
so
remainder in
so
assists.
three,
So
so
two.
he'll need 3. He'll need 3
Like
assists
three.
to
I'll
go
go
over.
3 assists.
3 assists.
So I'm going
23, 13, and 3.
13 and 3.
There you go,
Three's
Astradamus.
the lucky magic number, huh?
I bet you don't know how to spell
13 is my lucky
Astradamus.
number.
I bet you don't know how to spell your name.
ASHTRADAMUS.
Fact check.
That-
One more time.
Damn it!
This is one more time.
You got it.
ASHTRADAMUS.
Correct.
Hey.
She's legit. Let's see how
Pamela,
legit you are.
Pamela, Miss Pamela, what's
You know-
up? She said
you know
nice.
Why? You know why? I was a spelling bee champ in elementary school.
For real?
No, I mean,
I was a really
that's
good
respectable.
Spell Burberry. I'm getting warm up.
BURBERY.
Throw out a word, Woo. Come on, Woo. Come on, Corey.
I got one.
Give me a word that
Astrologer.
give me a word that you can spell.
Nah, I was gonna say one of that I might struggle spelling.
What the hell are you gonna tell me if I'm right?
You right. No, let's go with I want to go with like one of those short ones that's like mad difficult.
Can we just throw it
I
out?
literally can't think. I know I'm blanking. It's crazy that I'm
You
blanking.
did you go to
Can
what
we
school
throw
did
one
you
out?
go
I
to?
know.
Can we throw one
I
out? Woo, can we get a word?
I said astrologer.
Astrologer.
Yeah.
Ooh. Come on, Ashley, it's so easy.
ASTRO. No. ASTROLOGER. Damn it, I can't see this one. Hold on, let me type this out.
No, what you
You
mean?
can't type it out?
can't see it.
You
You
just be
can't
able to
type it
go.
out. Here, you can write it. Here,
Okay,
here.
give me.
I'm talking about getting their eyes. She tried to cheat. She
have
tried to
to
go to
Oh,
Google.
I got a. Nah,
She tried to go to Google.
I ain't trying to put myself on the
Oh,
spot.
ASTROLOGER.
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
Hey,
I does this.
Hey,
rolling.
somebody said that must mean B Marsh can't spell. Give me a
can't spell?
word. Watch this. That's how we gonna end the show. I'm gonna show y'all.
Amphibian. Amphibian.
We're gonna see y'all tomorrow. We're gonna see y'all tomorrow. Paper route at noon. Ashley, Nicole, Moss, Corey in the cut. West. Woo in the West. Paper route.
He said
What did he say? What was the word?
amphibian.
Amphibian.